Welcome to the Beefy Bet segment where we're going to be talking about all of our favorite picks from the upcoming Tuivasa Tybura Fight Night card. Man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Man. I'd be better if I found or if I felt like there was some obvious values here in this card, but I think the bookmakers did a good job of putting close lines where they should be close and huge lines where they shouldn't be close. So, in other words, kind of hard to pick your values.
Well, and also another problem I ran into when kind of scouting this one out is there's like a fuck ton of debutantes on this card. So, like, there's people that, like, I think should win and probably will, but there is kind of that, like, it's an incomplete, like, picture. You know what I mean? It's an incomplete, like, there's missing data sets because they're facing debutantes. It's so unpredictable.
Yeah,
Betting either for or against debutantes. Like unlike unless they're like a Despain. Like last week we loved Despain in his debut, but he was a bronze medal Olympian and a kickboxing champion. Like some guy that comes over, he's 7-3. He's like, well, this guy's probably not great, but like we don't know like what that like looks like on the big stage.
yeah. I mean, out of the 13 fights, there's only four that have guys where each fighter has more than 15 fights. So there's 9 fights where the guys have 15 fights or less.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, man. But I mean, hey, just a shout out reason why you should take us seriously, why you should subscribe. We've crushed the past 2 weeks, really longer than two, but like the past 2 weeks, every like official bet that we like gave you as like this is what we're presenting to you as like what you should go bet have all cashed.
Yes, sir.
So, well, riding hot, riding hot. So go ahead, hit subscribe and bet alongside of us, and let's cash these tickets, folks. But yeah, we'll go through each fight starting from the first and ending at the main event. He said I got a lot of 1 stars this week. I'm sure Harrison will put the graphic up about how what 1 star, 2 star, 3 star all kind of mean in our vernacular that we use. But a lot of 1 stars this week, which means like if I got to pick somebody, I'll pick this person, but probably won't bet it and like not super bullish on it. And I had a lot of those this week. Starting with this first one, man, potential for some value here. So we got Chad and Helliger taking on some debutante named Gregorio. And I believe this is the guy I was referencing. I do believe, if you don't mind pulling up his Tapology, because I want to say he's like 7-3, like not some crazy 12-0 record or anything.
Yeah, so I
Um,
have looked at this guy's Tapology. I just did earlier today. It's not impressive, but I mean you got to consider that Chad and Hellinger is 12-7, which is seemingly worse, and also he's 37, soon to be 38 at bantamweight. I can't bet on Hellinger here just for advanced stats.
yeah, let's see here. I don't have Van Helliger in my cans here, but he's getting pretty close down there with the Ricky Tercios and Dan Arguedas of the world. But so like I'm just saying, 1 star pick, gun to my head. I'm picking in Helliger, but like yeah, it's a 1 star. It's basically a no bet. But and Helliger when I looked was plus 154, so it's like if you're like just value monsters calling your name and you're looking for plus money to bet, don't hate it, Helliger, from
I'm
that perspective, but not like a bullish pick.
I'm honestly going the other way, and I'd advise Gregorio at 1 star.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We'll keep it pushing to the ladies here. We got Jacqueline Amarim taking on Corey McKenna. Um, I like Amarim as a 1 star, minus 110. So like Vegas is basically agreeing with us that this is kind of a pick 'em fight.
She's up to plus 105 now, so you can actually get plus $5 on 100.
So people are I guess betting McKenna. It sounds like McKenna. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's the girl with like the shortest reach in the entire UFC, right? So
Yeah,
that's always a
her
little
arms are 410 wingspan, not even 5 foot.
yeah. So that's always something to keep in mind here on these razor close fights. I mean, obviously, do I bet just based off who has the longer reach? Hell no. But in a situation like this where you got kind of a pick 'em with two kind of lower end strawweights, I like Amarim here, man. What about you?
I honestly, I have a weird feeling about this fight where I like Amarim a lot, and I know Amarim came out and lost to Sam Hughes in her UFC debut, and that is a bad loss. But I think a lot of that was Sam Hughes just being the most boring fighter on earth, and Amarim not necessarily being prepared for that, and also being a jiu-jitsu girl. We see that heavy wrestling nullifies jiu-jitsu pretty hard. That being said, if I had to take a pick in this fight, it's definitely the over. I don't even care what the number of
Yeah.
rounds is. Like, I would love the over here, but I mean, I would say 1 star Amarim as well. So same with you, but the over I would probably put 2 stars on.
Well, the over might be my prop of the week, and I don't know if that number is available to find anywhere yet because we're doing this on a Monday, and usually the props come out later in the week. So obviously, there's kind of like a caveat there, a little asterisk, like depending on what that value is, if it's 2.5, 1.5. I'm almost willing to bet it would be 2.5, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
100%.
But over is probably my prop of the week. I know you have a prop of the week that you like, but as far as like I said, it's hard to make it my official pick as far as like without knowing the number. But as I sit here today, I think my prop of the week is Amarim McKenna over. It's probably not great value and probably not worth your time, but
Right.
I do think it's likely to hit. I do think like I do love the over in this. So for what that's worth.
So we can keep it pushing to the next fights. Thiago Moises and Danny Silva. I'm trying to see if I can find the odds here. I swear I saw them earlier.
So I
Um,
thought Colabel was fighting Silva and Moises was fighting Ramirez.
oh, I'm
That's what
sorry.
Tapology had.
I have the non UFC pictures next to each other. I just read the wrong one. Yeah, Thiago Moises, Mitch Ramirez. Still not a line for it though. It's the fight without a line.
Yes, and that's why. So, like in theory, I have Moises as a 2-star here, but without knowing that number, I mean, obviously, it's hard to like give that as an actual pick.
I think it's odd too that Ramirez fights at welterweight, so I guess he's going to come down 15 pounds for this.
Yeah, and Ramirez, another one of those guys who was looking into him, didn't see anything too impressive that he could beat a guy like
I
Moises. Like,
mean,
I don't
loss
think
to
Moises.
Carlos Prates isn't going to look good against Thiago Moises. And Thiago Moises, just way more veteran. I mean, honestly, yeah, I would take him as a 2-star, but I don't know the number. I honestly think the number should be something like minus 400.
It's like, yeah, I mean, because I have Moises ranked at 24 in my power rankings, right between Ismail Bonfim and Nasrat Haqparast,
Yeah, in a good
neither of which are
division.
slouches. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're 24 at lightweight, like you're not a can, you're not a slouch, you're not an easy night at the office. Like Moises has some losses, but like really only the killers, right?
Yeah,
Like
St. Denis
he's
is his
not
last
losing the
loss.
cans. Yeah, so I like Moises like pretty bullish, but it's hard for us to really make it one of our official picks. Maybe by the time Harrison does the editing on this, there will be a number and he can put it up on the screen or something. But like Moises quite a bit as like a 2-star. Out of all the picks so far, this is my most bullish pick, but without the number, it's just kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. But yeah, like I had misspoken earlier and said Danny Silva, speaking of him, he is same record, 8-1 as Mitch Ramirez, but he's plus 140. We actually have a number for him versus Josh Culibao, minus 170. I actually have 2 stars on Culibao here, and that's
Me too. Me too. I on a week with slim pickings, I think this is going on my parlay.
me too. I also don't hate the over here. You might get sold on the finishes of Danny Silva early in his career, but it's like, I mean, you're getting finishes in your first 4 fights. You should, right? Like that's kind of what we
Yeah,
expect.
you're
And then
fighting
it's
at county fairs and strip clubs.
and then it's been a whole lot of decisions with one LFA finish. So, and then Culibao, or on the other hand, he also loves to go to decision or fight I guess a slower pace of fight. Really, right? He has the sub
Yeah,
against Melsik Bagdasarian, but draw, decision, decision, decision. Yeah, I love the over here. I'm sure you're not going to get a good number for it. So honestly, Culibao minus 170, not a bad number either. I think he is super legit, man. I don't know what fight, or they're going to fight at featherweight, I assume, right?
I assume so. Yeah, that's what I'm going into this under the pretense of. Yeah, like to your example, like I have Colabel ranked like 32 at featherweight, which is so deep. Like I
Right.
have him right there with like Cub Swanson and Darren Elkins and Charles Jourdain, like none of which are like cans by any means. I mean, Elkins and Swanson getting old in the tooth. They're not bad fighters. So yeah, I mean, I think Colabel is like not a can, like worth his salt, as they say. Like tough night at the office for a debutante. Colabel's a tough debut.
100%. This is kind of one I like for the parlay as well,
Mhm.
just because it is a guy having to make his debut against someone like Josh Culibao, who's pretty battle tested, man. I mean, you think about Lerone Murphy, Charles Jourdain, I
Yeah,
should say, but I mean, he's fought some pretty legit featherweights that'll give you a tough fight every time you fight him. So, Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
give
mean,
me Color
yeah,
Pop
think
minus
about it.
170.
Most people make their debut against a Can or another Dana White Contender Series guy. Like making your debut against Colabel, tough night at the office.
Couldn't
But
agree
we
more.
can keep it pushing here because I'm real interested on your take. Because up next we got Filio and Ode Osborne, and this is my first like official no bet. And I'm not even saying one star. Like I really don't have a pick. Like if I was just being greed monster, like real savage, I might go Filio by sub because remember this is the guy that basically
Oh, this
tore
is
Makayev's knee off.
yeah. I mean, if you look at Filio's record, he's 15-3, but he has 14 wins by finish and 2 losses by finish. So he's only got a decision twice in 18 fights.
Yeah, and then Ode Osborne, he's about 500 in the UFC, but has like I guess you could say like upside potential, but just be fumbling fights away, right? Like it sounds like you're leaning Filio. I couldn't make like a money line pick. I said if you're a value monster just searching out there, Filio by sub might bring you a decent return. I don't know. I don't really have like a really. Besides that, I don't really have much of a take on this. So I'll turn over the floor to you.
Well, both guys have 18 fights, and between them, they've gone to decision 6 times. So 30 fights.
So you like the
finished.
under here?
Oh
You
yeah,
like
of
the under
course.
here?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 84% of the time these guys are under together. So like,
That's good. That slipped through my cracks. I'm glad you dropped that nugget on the pod. So I mean, gun to your head, it sounds like you're betting just the under here.
I mean, Ode Osborne's decisions are Charles Johnson and CJ Vergara, and both those guys. Maybe not Vergara, but Charles Johnson's going to fight you to a decision just the way he fights. And then I think Filio, because he's going to push for finishes only, like that's his style. Ode Osborne is going to also either try for a finish or get finished. Yeah, I love the under here. Don't know the number. Love the under.
Well, and also like doesn't Ode Osborne has a couple losses by subs like recently, like in the UFC, I think he has 2 losses by sub if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. And Filio's
So,
last win is a sub. Obviously got sub by Makayev, but that was late.
but he also basically sub Makayev like that
Oh,
that knee bar. That's the one where he like
right.
essentially like locked in the knee bar, and Makayev was just Tony Ferguson his way through it.
This will ring a bell. Almabayev submitted Ode Osborne in his last fight out.
Yeah, and
Which
I mean,
makes me feel good about Filio getting a submission there, too.
Yeah, Filio by sub and the under here, but like money line wise, I don't think I'm making a bet. I think if you're gonna bet this, maybe search some props.
Yeah, I agree. An under or a Filio submission would probably be the money move. Now, I guess we can keep it pushing, but dude, I cannot stand this next fight. Josiane Nunez minus 150 and Chelsea Runaway Chandler plus 125.
I was about to say that's the girl that took off sprinting and Dominic. That clip's actually been going viral lately of Dominic Cruz kind of roasting.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's why they locked the cage.
He's like, that girl would have been out of the cage if that door was unlocked.
And basically for that reason, amongst others, I 1-star pick, but I'm taking Nunez. I mean,
I have
Chandler hasn't given
1 star minus 150. Not the worst value here. I mean, might be betting some straights this week and not so much parlay attack.
Maybe, yeah. I got a straight that I'm like probably gonna. I know I got a straight on the co-main that I love. But we will keep it pushing here. We got Mike Davis versus Natan Levy, and see, this is one where I think the value is way off. I would have set this money line way closer. If I'm handicapping this one, I got closer. Davis, but I got him at like minus 150. So like from a value perspective, this is a no bet. From a like me having to give you a pick, I'll give you Davis as a 1-star. Like I said, I think Mike Davis should be like minus 150. And he when I looked, he was
minus 300, right
minus
now.
270. Oh yeah, that's dog shit value. Like you cannot take Mike because like it's. I'm not saying that Tom Levy's a world beater, but like they got like basically the same record, they basically the same size, basically the same like resume, right? I mean,
no, I'd argue that Mike Davis fights way more impressive guys. Way more, because like Mike Breeden, Genaro Valdez, and Rafa Garcia are your 3 UFC fights, and you lost to Rafa Garcia.
That's tough because those other 2 are canned.
That's pretty much can tier to me. And then Mike Davis is fighting, beating Vyacheslav Borshev. He beat Mason Jones. He beat I don't know who the hell this is. Thomas Gifford. That's a can for sure. And lost to Gilbert Burns. But like having fought Burns and almost getting around 3 with Burns. Beating Slava Claus and beating Mason Jones.
That Borshev one is aging well. That Borshev win is aging well. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. I mean, like I said, I'm picking Davis. I just don't see him as 3-1 over Levy. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm. I mean,
I
based on
actually
like you
have
just kind of
Davis
made a
as a
decent point.
2-star. I actually have him as a parlay candidate, and I have Natan Levy as auto fade can. So
Really? See, I don't.
yeah,
I guess I'm just
he's
not
a can.
as down on Levy as you, but
There's a
I mean, I
can.
just don't love the value here. I'm definitely not putting this on my parlay. Like minus 300. I didn't like it at minus 275, so there ain't no way I'm taking it at minus 300. But I do pick Davis like verdict pick or whatever. You know, want to look like a smart guy to your friends. Tell them Davis is going to win the fight.
Also,
But like,
Levy hasn't
but
fought in 16 months. Oof.
well, there's been a lot going on in Israel lately.
He's saying again. But yeah, that also I
but
hate that that's the finale to the prelims, the featured prelim. I think that's a terrible fight to give to fans because I have convinced. I may be wrong, but I have convinced myself that Natan Levy is in fact a can.
we'll see. I think this fight will tell us. I think we'll have an answer Sunday morning. You know, like on whether or not Levy's a can. Like I think
100%.
we'll. I'm teetering. I'm teetering. I'm just not fully sold that he's a can. And like yeah, to your point about card placement, bro. Colabal, Moises, the Filio Osborne fight, all much better candidates for the featured prelim.
Filio
That's
Osborne, I feel
ridiculous.
like you're going to get fireworks as a fight. Like that should have definitely been in that spot.
Yeah, yeah, number one bullshit, brother. Number one bullshit. But we'll keep it pushing, I guess, to the main card. Got GM3 taking on Barbarena, and this one kind of surprised me. Like this was one where my research tilted me hard in one direction. Like me just looking at it on paper, I was like, oh, that's kind of a coin flip. I mean, honestly, two kind of aging can-ish fighters. But did a little bit more digging. So I had Mearshart as like my 48th power ranked middleweight, and I have Barbarena as my 50th ranked welterweight. So it's like caveman math, slightly better ranked and a weight class up. And you have a prop that you like on this one. I'll turn it over to you. But I mean, I'm going 1 star. GM3's at minus 205. I basically feel about how Vegas does. That's probably the exact line I would set is about a minus 205 on GM3. But yeah, you like a prop here, I think.
So yes, I love Gerald Mearshart by sub. Now a quick explanation as to why. Brian Barberena, he has been submitted 3 times in his career, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but the first time was 2010. This is where it's important. First time 2010, then didn't happen again until 2022, and then he got submitted back to back RDA Gunnar Nelson, both high level jiu-jitsu guys, right? However, smaller jiu-jitsu guys than clearly Mearshart. Mearshart, if you want to get into his side of things now, the only way he wins fights is with jiu-jitsu. In his career, he has 35 wins and 27 of them by submission. His last 2 wins
That's wild. 27 subs is
out of
crazy.
35 wins. It's literally an 80% sub rate if he's going to win a fight. So if you think
He's
Mearshart
gonna
wins
win.
and you think that Barberena gets subbed by good jiu-jitsu players, this is pretty clear GM3 by sub.
Hey, you're bringing some heat to the show. You're bringing some heat to the show. I like it. I like it. I like these props here. But the Filio
The
Osborne
the
under
the
and,
number the
and
number I would imagine he's minus 220 to win. You're probably talking plus 150 by sub, plus 160.
go like minus 120. I mean, I think Vegas knows probably what we just said that like if he's gonna win, it's gonna be by sub. But I think you'll get a better number than minus 205. That's for damn sure. And like you
Yeah.
said, it's basically his only path to victory. So I mean, do a little MMA math and you see what you get there. Keep it pushing to more women's bantamweights, which is a dog shit division. But I am
Ha
glad. Like
ha.
here's what I'm saying: the fact that there's 2 women's bantamweights fights on this card, like hopefully get something shaking and jiving in the division, right? Like the division is literally dead. Like if we get a good finish here or an impressive performance or a bonus or something, like maybe something shakes and moves in that division. I guess I'm wishful thinking here, but
Yeah, it's just so tough that it's Josiane Nunez, Chelsea Chandler, Panny Kianzad, and Macy Chiasson. It's like, oh, I hate all these names. And
yeah,
specifically Kianzad Chiasson, I'm really out on both girls because both girls have had all the opportunities in the world and seemingly fumble their bags in big fights.
Yeah, Chase on especially that
Oh my
the promotion
god.
for a minute there was pushing her, and I never was really with it. That being said, so I have these ladies power ranked right next to each other. I think I have just speaks to the lack of depth in the division. I have Chase on at 9 and Kianzad at 10, but so I'm picking Chase on, but it's a no bet. I mean, it's a no bet, especially at minus 180. If you were giving me plus money on Chase on, I would take it. And by my own logic, really the plus money on Kianzad is kind of the move if I have a power rank right next to each other. But I'm picking Chase on with the 1 star. Really a no bet for me.
Um,
To add to that.
yeah, I'm just looking at Panny Kianzad's fight history, and she's never finished or been finished in a UFC fight. And then
That's good shit.
and then I'm looking at their fight history. You might be interested, as I am right now, to see that Macy Chiasson submitted Panny Kianzad in 2018 in the second round of the Ultimate Fighter finale. No idea.
Okay, that did slip through my cracks. That did slip through my cracks. Yeah, I mean, I think Chase Owens going to win the fight. I just at that value. I mean, probably the over here, right? Chase Owens a decision
Yes,
merchant, isn't she?
but
Right?
yes, and you know what? To that credit, to that point, Kianzad's been finished once by Chiasson before. I think it's going to weigh heavily on her mind that she's not going to get finished again.
And play it safe.
Yep, over. This is might be a 3-star over. We
Yeah,
might
yeah.
have an
This
over
might
under
be
parlay week.
probably. Yeah, over under parlay might be the move this week for real. I think we feel stronger about those than we do these 1 star ass money lines.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
something to consider there. All right, so I'm actually excited for this next one
Next
because
fight, ooh,
no,
so good. I want to know where you're leaning. I assume it's C-Rod, but let me pitch you after you tell me why.
yeah. I mean, so it is C-Rod, and it's because this fight's up at featherweight. So C-Rod, 2 consecutive weight misses at bantamweight. We both called that they were shipping his ass to featherweight
Yeah.
after he missed weight. He does have the Raul Rosas win. Has a couple other impressive wins too, if I'm not mistaken. Like at least decent wins.
Uh,
I know the
uh,
Raul Rosas one stands
Corey,
out.
is it Cameron Simon? Not a bad win, honestly.
Not a bad win.
Sub Josh Weems in one round, but I will say, man, the first time C-Rod fought in the UFC, they made him fight at featherweight, and he lost to JSP, and it wasn't that close, and that's why he went down.
No, for sure. But JSP is a big, really, I mean, what, top 20 featherweight. Bulgarian is a smaller featherweight. And, like, just for reference, I want to see where I have Bulgarian ranked. It is very low. I am not high on Bulgarian. Let's see here. I have him all the way down at 52 behind Julian Arosa and above Gene Silva with the Gabriel Mirandas of the world. Literally one tier above my can tier. Yeah, I'm not. Bulgarian's 5'7", so he's not like a big featherweight. C-Rod, I think size. I really don't, and I think he's going to feel really good not having shitty weight cuts. C-Rod has a good skill set. Bulgarian, I do believe, is more of like a power puncher, though.
He is ultra powerful. He's never left the first round in a fight.
And C-Rod likes to grapple a little bit, scramble a little bit. I think if C-Rod can get this into the second or third round, I think he just kind of like overwhelms him, out-grapples him, takes him down. Can definitely beat him position to position. Like he out-grappled Raul Rosas Jr. like pretty significantly. So.
Yeah, he out-grappled a 19-year-old kid. Now, Isaac Bulgarian, on the other hand, is a grappler by trade. It's what he did very first. So I don't see Christian Rodriguez really out-grappling this guy, to be fair.
I don't know, man. I feel good. I mean, on a card full of 1 stars, this is actually a 2-star Rodriguez for me and my dog of the week. Like I like Rodriguez at plus money. Like I wouldn't say I love it. It's not like a hammer 3-star lock, but almost every other pick is a 1-star for me. So this is one of my 2 stars. If I'm trusting my own rankings, actually, by the way, I got it here. And if I'm trusting my power rankings, which, if I might, shine my own wheels, has done us pretty right over recent periods. I have Rodriguez as my 28th ranked bantamweight, and I have Bulgarian as my 52nd ranked featherweight. So I'm going to stick to my guns here, stick to my rankings. They've been doing me right lately. I feel like there's a couple X factors here with him coming up a weight class and Bulgarian's power. Like I acknowledge that.
I think sample size is your X factor because you have Bulgarian at 52 because we've only seen him once. If he did that a second fight in a row, he might be 30.
Who's Bulgarian's win over again?
Francis Marshall, but I mean, he beat the living shit out of him for 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
He did, but now see, we do have a bigger sample size of Francis Marshall, and he is like for sure a can. So like, I'll take C-Rod's resume over this guy's resume.
I hate C-Rod's resume at featherweight. 0-1. That's so tough to sell me that he's going back to featherweight to fight a guy that's going to grapple him heavily and throw power bombs at him.
But dude, Jonathan Pierce is 6 foot tall, like basically a lightweight size featherweight. Like he's one of the bigger featherweights in the whole division. And I had Jonathan Pierce ranked at 20, like up there with the Barbosas and Sadiq Yusufs and Nathaniel Woods. And like I think Jonathan Pierce is like a legit, not only legit, but you want to talk about size. He's literally like top 5 biggest featherweights on the roster. JSP's a huge featherweight. So like, and like also probably the 10 best like grappler and wrestler on the featherweight roster. So it's like, I just think JSP is just like, yeah, he's gonna lose that fight. Like I'm not sitting here telling you that C-Rod's better than JSP, like at all. Like that is like I think that JSP beats. I mean, fucking 80 other guys. Like I think JSP. I mean, he's a top 20 guy. Like I just think that like I don't know. Like comparing JSP to Bulgarian and trying to do that apples to apples, I just think it kind of comes up short. I mean, Bulgarian 5'7". I feel you got some grappling, got some power. Like,
well, C-Rod was weight bullying guys at bantamweight is my other like part of it. I don't feel like him missing weight and then doing well. It's like, is he gonna feel better or was he even really trying to cut? You know, I don't. There's a lot of like outside of the fight questions about C-Rod that. Like, yeah, once he makes the weight and how he looks this week, I'll probably be down to ride it with you. But as far as, like, this is a cop-out of an answer, I know. But Dog of the Week, I'd rather have Jacqueline Emery than C-Rod.
Well, I have – oh, yeah, because – so when I was doing this research, Emery was minus 110.
Yeah, so and that's why I said plus 105, kind of a cop-out. But I think she's more of a lock of a dog than C-Rod is.
I do feel differently, but we'll leave it up to you. This is, I mean, this is a 2-man podcast. You know, we don't have to, always agree on everything. So if you're watching this, seeing how you should bet, like, which one of us do you agree more? This is one that we need help in the comments. Like, help us win this bet. Like, please leave your comment on if you like Rodriguez or Emery more as your dog of the week. But I mean, honestly, I feel like we've hashed that one out. I don't think any of us is coming over the other side of the aisle. So, let's keep it pushing here to the biggest money line on the entire card. Nzechukwu over St. Preux. Like, obviously, that's the pick. I do have it as a 2-star, not a 3-star, which makes the minus 500 tough. But here's the only thing. Obviously, St. Prue's 40. St. Prue's taking L's. But, like, Nzechukwu will be fumbling fights off, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't think I bet Nzechukwu minus 500 over anybody. And, like, St. Preux obviously still has power, obviously has a lot of experience. He's old, he's washed, like, for sure. I'm not, like, making it.
St. Preux has no chin left. Felipe Lins knocked him out in 50 seconds in his last fight. And, I mean, he fought Shogun, who didn't finish him. But before that, he got finished by Tanner Bozer, small heavyweight, and Jamal Hill before he left 205, which Jamal Hill, that all good. That one all good. But... yeah, I just think Ovince St. Preux's chin is cracked. I think he's 40 years old, and actually he's 1 month away from being 41. So, for me, this feels like an Nzechukwu TKO if you're going to bet anything. Bet it as a prop for any sort of value, but honestly, probably just no bet. Probably just enjoy the show.
And if I'm like hunting for value and need to throw a 4th or 5th leg on, like maybe, but
5th leg I could justify at minus 575, but 4th leg, I mean,
damn, it's gone up even more. Yeah, when I looked, it was minus 500 even. So it's getting untouchable. It's getting untouchable.
Yeah, that line come Wednesday, that's minus 700.
Yeah, for sure, man. Now. My only 3-star of the week up next, dude, hammering Brian Battle. Like, probably will bet it as a straight and put it on a parlay. I love it that much.
I'm with you. And it simply comes down to the quality. of Angelus's wins are absolutely meaningless. Like maybe beat the worst two welterweights in the entirety of the division in AJ Fletcher and Reese McKee, and he beat them both by decision. You couldn't even get him out of
Yeah.
there. And then it's like you
Yep.
look at his losses: Munir Lazez, Jonathan Thompson, which who the fuck is that guy? And then Jack Della, we know who that is, but we're talking about losses to guys that aren't making it in the UFC, wins over guys that aren't making it in the UFC, and one loss to Jack Della, who seemingly is very, very good. But everyone else, it's like, well, that's not anything special. And yeah, I just think Brian Battle mixing the martial arts, being younger. Yeah, I like Brian Battle here. Well, is he
Bro,
younger?
I'm a Battle believer. I'm a Battle ball watcher, bro. Like I got Battle ranked 20th between Li Jingliang and RDA. Like I like Battle a lot.
I
Like,
think,
I'm sold on Battle.
and also Battle just finished Fletcher, which Lusa couldn't do. He
Yep.
he went to a decision with Fakhretdinov, so you're not going to finish him. I don't think. Like if
I
Fakhretdinov
think
could,
that's even impressive. Like
right,
like
I agree. That's
that's
a good
aging well.
loss.
Like him going to a decision. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'm actually with you, lockstep. Like I said, this is my only 3-star of the week as well. Brian Battle,
Only
160.
3
You have to play that. You can't.
Yeah, we
not
gotta
bet this.
get it in soon too because I mean when I looked it was at minus 148, so it's going up. It'll get over minus 200 real. So I was
Yeah.
shocked when I saw this number. If I'm handicapping this is like minus 350.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand what Luce has done to garner any sort of. Yeah, he should be plus 200 at least. You know what I mean?
The logic by Vegas is that like Luce's wins have been kind of snoozy top control. Battles lost to Fakhretdinov, that was his problem. But like, hey, Luce ain't Fakhretdinov.
Yeah,
Like,
that's worlds apart.
like that's just like the whole BSD head kick Poirier match that the books was doing. You know what I mean? Like, just because Fakhretdinov held him down does not mean Luce is going to hold him down.
I also feel like this is the UFC trying to give Battle a real push because if you look at all the names underneath him on this main card, you could argue every single other fight should be in their spot, but they're wanting a Brian Battle on Luce push.
Yeah, no, and I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm a believer in Battle. I like him on Tough. He's a good follow on social media. Seems like a good dude. I'm here for it. I'm a Battle guy. I'm a Battle fan. So, but also I'm not betting with my heart. Like my brain, like all the math, all the metrics, like tell you Battle over Lusa. That value is crazy. Said I thought it would be like minus 300. Yeah, the UFC is trying to push him, put him in a co-main event, big moment. Time for him to step up to the plate. Yeah, I'm probably going to put that as a straight and as in a parlay. Like, I like it that much.
Yeah, me
and
too.
then we only got one fight left. One fight left to get the heavyweights to the main event. Hopefully, it is better than our last heavyweight main event. We got Tai Tuivasa taking on Marcin Tybura. And man, this is the fight of like two guys that are like hard to like have a ton of confidence in, right? Like,
also, it's so weird because like there's 8 years of age difference, so like you would think, and it's Southpaw, Tuivasa Southpaw, Tybura Orthodox, so you'd immediately think like, oh wow, speed and stance are both on the side of Tuivasa, who's a power puncher, and like when you look at Tybura's fights against like Derek Lewis who gets starched or Shamil Abdurakhimov, I believe that might be wrong, but Tybura has like bad losses, but then he has like okay
good
wins. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, man. It's like I guess what I'm he does have a KO loss to Shamil Abdurakhimov, but I mean I just compare Tuivasa's style most like Lewis,
Derek Lewis.
Sakai,
Yeah.
Shamil Abdurakhimov, right? Kind of big bruiser heavyweight that's just trying to get in close and drop power shots.
I'm picking Tuivasa as a 1-star. Not going to bet it with my own money. When I looked, it was minus 125. What's the line at now?
Minus 130 for Tuivasa. I think, though, if you're going to bet Tuivasa here, you might as well take the TKO.
Add him by KO.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he won't even go for a choke. He will ground and pound until the guy's done. He won't try to. He's not going to try to choke you ever in your life.
He ain't trying to go 25 minutes either.
Hell no. Hell no.
He's trying to get out of there. Tuivasa probably do the under or by decision. Or I mean by KO, not by decision. Do not bet Tuivasa by decision and blame me for that. Tuivasa by KO. But it's a 1-star. I think there is other bets that I like more.
Yeah, and this is honestly, this is going to sound messed up, but this is fully a get-right fight for Tuivasa. Because if you look at who he's fought recently, he beat Derek Lewis, and then he lost to Gon, lost to Pavlovich, lost to Volkov. Bro, those are 3 impossible fights for Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to assemble our over-under parlay right now. Here. Yeah, 3 by sub. And then we got Jason over. So, yeah, man, I mean, do you have Battle and Colabal? I mean, maybe we could just give out a 2-legger because we are not. I was gonna put C-Rod in my parlay. You might have talked me out of it. I do C-Rod as my dog straight, and then Battle Colabal. I mean, is it a cop out giving out a 2-legger as a parlay of the week? Is that a cop out?
Hell yeah! When you have guys like Filio, and then you have guys like Mike Davis, like you could easily throw them on there to juice it.
But I like Filio under in our over-under parlay. Are we just going to give out an over-under parlay as our parlay of the week?
Yeah, I would say
how
that.
You wanna,
I would
how
say
you want to
that.
play
I would
this?
say that. I would say that. That's definitely
Right,
the move. And then I'll edit the value into the show so we know what it is.
McKenna over, Filio Osborne under, and then Chason Kianzad over. Leg over-under parlay. Right? That's how we're feeling?
Chason Kianzad over. What else you say? St. Preux and Zechku under? No,
wasn't on there. It was going to be Filio Osborne under.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, Filio Osborne under.
Amory McKenna over.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'll take that. That sounds good to me. Sold. And then, I mean, you could do Tuivasa Tybura under for sure, depending on what the value is.
Yeah, but if they set it at under 1.5, which they might.
Yeah, no.
But if we can get like under 3.5 or under 2.5, maybe even.
Even 2.5, I would take, because Tuivasa does not like to get past the 3rd round.
Yeah, for sure. But I have a strong feeling they're going to set that at 1.5, bro. I have a strong feeling that they'll set that at 1.5, and I do not like that on a parlay. But it also, so that's going to be our over-under parlay. Also, like I said, call it a cop-out if you want, but the only, like, moneyline parlay that I actually feel confident about giving out and, like, want to stake my reputation on is Colabal Battle 2-legger. I know 2-legger is not fun, not sexy, not exciting, but I do think that cashes, and I do think that it'll be pretty decent value. It's like, what, like 2 -160s or a -160 and a -170? You're definitely going to...
I would honestly even be down to do Colabal Battle GM3. I'd throw the -220 as a 3rd leg. Because I think GM3 wins that fight. But it's almost like you would rather just bet it by sub straight. For the
yes.
Now,
I would rather bet
if you're betting
prop
on a site where you can put multiple things together and it doesn't have to be the same thing, like our casino limits us. But if you can mix and match, you're free.
Yeah, I think if you can mix and match, if you're on one of those online or offshore betting where you can just parlay literally any fucking thing your brain can fathom together, then there's actually a ton of value to have on this. Because, like, if you were able to put, like, a Battle Colabal money line, the Amorim over, and the Chason over, like, if you
and the GM3 sub.
Together, and the GM3 sub, like, you can get creative as fuck. We don't have those options. We bet in person down at the El Dorado here in Reno, Nevada. So it's like, it is kind of limiting. You can parlay over-unders together with other over-unders, and you can parlay money lines together, but they don't let you mix and match. And I don't think they even let you parlay props whatsoever. I think props have to be straight, like method of victory props have to be straights. So we are kind of limited, and we're going to do our best to try to hunt some value. But, like, if you're betting online on one of these apps that let you get fucking buck wild with the crazy prop parlays and same game parlays and all that, then I think you can have a lot of fun with this card. I'm actually jealous of you if you're using one of those apps where you can do that.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
I think that's where the real value is. Like I said, if you're able to parlay GM3 method of victory with the battle money line, with the over-under on the ladies' fights, like if you're able to have some fun and mix and match, I think that's where you could crush the books this weekend. So, like, advice, but I don't like giving out official picks that I can't put my money where my mouth is. All these picks that we give to y'all, we bet alongside of you because else we'd be charlatans. So yeah.
So official dog of the week, are you taking C-Rod or are you taking Jacqueline Amorim?
I'm taking C-Rob. I'm trusting my rankings, my method, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's been doing me right. I'm going to stick by my own metrics and go C-Rod. But the fact that Amareem did move from -110 to +105 does make her an official dog candidate. And, like, I don't hate that value. Like, I'm not telling you not to bet that. I'm saying if you only can bet one, I'm picking C-Rod. But if you want to do a sprinkle on both or do a fucking two-legger putting them together, I think that's good value.
I'm taking Amareem as my dog of the week. I think just less ways to lose for her in that. So I feel like I said though, +105 feels like such a cop out.
It counts.
We'll count it. Prop of the week for me gonna be GM3 by sub, no question. And then if I had,
so you like GM3 by sub more than Filio by sub? Because I'm kind of like up in the air on that.
Filio could get the KO TKO. I don't know. GM3 cannot get a TKO KO. He will literally only get a sub.
Okay. GM3 by sub. Prop of the week.
And then as far as if I was just going to give out a little four-legger here, and I'll put the value up on the screen, I would go Amareem, Culibao, Filio, and GM3. And let me put that in the parlay calculator here because that is a four-legger just for people at home.
Were you leaving Battle off?
You know what? I'm not. You're right. We're putting Battle on, and we're taking Amareem off. Although, I don't know. Like, what's the best value out of it? Should I just go 5 legs? Because Battle is my only 3-star.
Hey, if you want to, you can. I'm not. This is a Harrison pick of the week. This is not the Beefy parlay of the week. I just want to make that clear. But
all right, listen.
Obviously,
this is gonna be
Harrison
great.
Can chase the bag here with his 5-legger.
No, this is gonna be great. 300. We're not putting Amareem in. We'll just go Filio Culibao after that. Okay, -25, -170. This is gonna be a banger.
He's cooking. Let him cook.
All right, let's see. +671. Not that bad.
That is good value. Like our parlay last week was +4.
And if you take that parlay and you take Mike Davis off, then it's +478.
Which is about see, but I felt better about last week. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stand on business here. The only two fights that I feel really like, the only two money lines that I feel really comfortable putting on a parlay together is Culibao and Battle. Man, I really feel that way. I think everything else, like I feel you, like I agree with your picks, but I'm just not like bullish 2-star, 3-star on it. Like you have a couple of things that I consider 1-stars on your parlay, and I am not in the business of putting 1-stars on my parlay. That's not how I like to roll. The only ones that I said I'll stand on business about and really like 2-star, 3-stars, like that's how I like to assemble my parlays. Sticking to my method here. Not trying to let the value gremlins, whisper in my ear. Culibao Battle, man. That's what I, feel comfortable staking my reputation on. I said, if you want to get wild, you want to get fun, you want to dance with the devil. You want to, whisper with the value gremlins, then you can have some fun here. And there are some other picks if you want to like really hunt the value. But as far as like locks of the week or like, say if you want to call it a 2-leg parlay of the week, Culibao Battle is what I'm endorsing here as my candidate.
Sounds good. Very non-risky 2-legger. Love that for the people at home, guys. If you want a 4-legger, if you want real bets, then put mine in there.
See, I'm trying to cash your tickets, folks.
He's trying to turn $5 into $7, boys. We got it.
Let's go. You never go break 10 into profit, man. What can I say? But yeah, man. I mean, I'll say I'm glad I'm betting next week's card because as a fan, if I didn't bet it, I don't know how many of these fights are getting it done for me. Hopefully Tuivasa and Tybura is exciting. Heavyweight main events have a way of disappointing us. I'm excited for Battle, but honestly, I don't really love the matchmaking with Lusa. I'm excited for Rodriguez Bulgaria now, just like our little bragging rights, a little like who can puff their chest out next Sunday.
I honestly feel so good about Culibao, Filio, Davis, Mearshart, and Battle winning. I think all 5 of those are like pretty solid. I mean, 2 of them I know you agree with, but.
Well, see, I agree with all of them. I just have like 3 of those as 1-stars. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not
but
really
it's
trying
like
to
Natan
go to
Levy
war with you.
It's just like auto can. Like that's where I'm like, I got to put him.
See,
and
that's
like,
what.
And Vegas agrees, obviously, plus 250.
I mean, see, that's where I disagree with you. Lightweight has so many actual cans that, like, I don't have them anywhere near my actual can. I mean, but when I say can, I'm talking Anshul Jubilee. I'm talking Darius Flowers. I'm talking Otman Azaitar. I'm talking,
Mike
Brandon the
Breeden,
Road,
Gennaro
Landon Quinones,
Valdez.
guys like that. That's my auto fade.
You mean guys that
I don't
Natan Levy
have.
can't get a finish against?
Okay, but the guys that Natan Levy beat, like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between like mid and
Let
like
me ask you
auto
this:
fade.
where do you have
I
Rafa
got
Garcia ranked?
Rafa. Let's see here. I got him at like 44, but I have over 90 lightweights. So like 44, like yeah, that's low, but like there's so many bad. Bro, I have 17 people in my auto fade can tier, and Levy or Rafa Garcia. Like there's levels in lightweight, bro. Like
Who do you
like
right? But who
like
do you have ranked
there's.
higher, Borshev, Slavaklaus, or Rafa Garcia?
That's a good question here. Where is Slava Claus? So I have Rafa Garcia over Slava Claus. I do. Not by a ton, like 6 spots above. Like I have Borshev. Because the thing is, I have a good tendency on Borshev for the future. If he wins, it's by KO, and if he loses, it's by decision. So like I feel like we could
Word.
make some money on props on Borshev fights moving forward.
100%. I just think Mike Davis fought a lot better guys, gotten better wins, and I don't think he would lose to Rafa, whereas Natan Levy did.
Where do I have Mike? That's a good question. Mike Davis compared to Rafa. See, I have Rafa above Mike Davis, but barely. Like I said, I mean, I have actually, ironically that you're saying this, I have Mike Davis and Slava Claus right next to each other.
I
Like,
mean, he beat Slavaklaus,
like
and it wasn't even close. I feel like you're not giving Mike Davis the respect.
yeah, but like, or do you have Mike Davis over like a Terrence McKinney or a Ziam? Like, do you like him better than
I
those
like
guys?
him. I
Because like
like
that's
him.
how
I like him more than McKinney. I think he's more consistent. I don't know if I like him more than Ziam though, to be quite honest. McKinney is
I have
so
all those guys.
inconsistent.
All those guys in like the same tier. You know what I mean? So it's like when you
I,
get
I,
that low,
I well, I
when you get
think
that, you kind of go by tier more than like individual
I
slots.
think
Like when I
Rafa.
get that low,
Yeah, I agree. I think Rafa Garcia same tier as those guys though. Like I'd put him right there with them. I think they're all can fight pretty close fight any night. Whereas
yeah,
Don Levy lost for 15 minutes straight to Rafa. So I'm like, I think he's a tier below, which for me makes this a 2-star.
fair. Yeah, see, I got yeah. I don't even necessarily disagree. I just like I said, I have Mike Davis one tier above Levy, and I have them both as like mid tiers. So it's like I just don't view Levy as an absolute can. And I view Mike Davis as like decent. Like I'm just not like super like about Mike Davis. Like I don't know. Like I just
Hey, Natan
like
Levy
but
got a lot on his mind coming in this fight. And with that, we can wrap it up. That is Beefy Bets
yeah.
UFC Fight Night Tuivasa Tybura. Don't forget to like, subscribe. We've literally hit 12 picks in a row for you heathens. We have all sorts of mixed value on the table. And if you can bet offshore, well, you might have like a plus 4,000 parlay. Also, shout out to the third Beefy Boy, Michael. If he was telling you to bet Almeida last week and you listened, I'm so sorry. We told you don't do that. And yeah, effectively appreciate y'all. Leave a comment, please. I'm begging you about the Dulgarian Christian Rodriguez fight. Clearly, we're split on it.
Yes.
And then also, we'd love to know what is a better dog of the week, C-Rod or Emery.
Yes. Both of those. Please comment, engage with us, or tweet us at Beefy Breakdown. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for watching.